U.S. presidents in 5 minutes. There's a giant washing machine on the White House lawn. They're washing a ton for George Washington.
Very good.
And you open the washing machine, inside are atoms for John Adams.
Did it.
They go into a frying pan. They're being cooked up by a chef's son. Chef's son is for Thomas Jefferson. Heating the pan is a mad son for James Madison. The mad son opens its mouth. Out comes James Monroe for money rowing. The money rowing hits a dam. John Quincy Adams. The water going over the dam turns into jacks for Andrew Jackson. The jacks go on a van that has a bureau on top for Martin Van Buren. The van turns hairy for William Henry Harrison. The hair makes a tie with a lure on it, Tyler for John Tyler. The tie turns polka dot, James K. Polk. Then a tailor is using the polka dot material to make a suit, Taylor for Zachary Taylor. He goes to work at a filling station. He's filling more cups, Millard Fillmore. He pierces the bottom of the cups for Franklin Pierce. The oil drips into U-shaped cannons, U cannons for James Buchanan. They encircle a Lincoln log cabin for Abraham Lincoln. On the roof of the cabin is a toilet, which is sometimes called a John, with a little one, so a John and its son, Andrew Johnson. Out of the John comes a great ant, Ulysses S. Grant. The ants climb a haystack for Rutherford B. Hayes. The ants turn into cigars, so we have a cigar field, James Garfield. One of the cigars becomes an author for Chester A. Arthur. His typewriter falls into leaf land for Grover Cleveland. Then a heron and her sons comes along to eat the leaves. That's Benjamin Harrison. Then the lamb comes back with cleavers, so it's Cleaver Lamb chasing away the bunnies, Grover Cleveland. Then Cleaver Lamb goes to work at McDonald's, making McKinley for William McKinley. In the door of McDonald's walks a Teddy with a rose belt, Teddy Roosevelt. He jumps in a raft. Raft rhymes with Taft, William Howard Taft. Next to the raft are Wilson tennis balls for Woodrow Wilson, and the WW means World War I. The ball goes on a bell, and it makes a hard ding for Warren G. Harding. The bell gets a cool edge for Calvin Coolidge. Next to the bell is an owl wearing a fur coat. He says, Hoover, Herbert Hoover. He walks down a road belt for Franklin Roosevelt. Up pops a tree man for Harry S. Truman. He then climbs a tower that has eyes on it. Eyes on tower for Dwight David Eisenhower. At the top of the tower is candy for John F. Kennedy. In the candy are Band-Aids made by Johnson & Johnson, Lyndon Baines Johnson. On one of the Band-Aids is a nick. There's a nick on the Band-Aid for Nixon, Richard Nixon. Out of the nick comes a Ford truck, Gerald Ford. The Ford goes down the street, hits a cart for Jimmy Carter. The groceries fly up, turning into ray guns for Ronald Reagan. One of them shoots a bush for George Herbert Walker Bush. Out of the bush rises a clean 10 as opposed to the other numbers, which are dirty. Clean 10 is for Bill Clinton. You leave it here. The clean 10 goes back in the bush. It's going to get sooty, and that's for George W. Bush. Because it's dirty, it goes and takes a bath. It leaves an O-ring around the tub for Barack Obama. Then once it's clean, it goes out for a night on the town at Trump Tower for Donald Trump. The next day, it jumps on a horse and goes riding for Biden.